Caitlin Clark has been a headline machine since the moment she first picked up a basketball, and now she's doing it again. Only this time, it's not on the hardwood. Instead of draining logo threes, she's swapping sneakers for spikes and stepping onto the fairways. Caitlin is making her return to the LPGA Pro-Am event, the Annika, hosted by golf legend Annika Sorenstam at Florida's Pelican Golf Club. But let's be clear, this isn't just a celebrity cameo, this is a cultural event. Last year, she played alongside world number 1 Nelly Korda, and that moment exploded across sports media. Now she's back, and the message is clear. Caitlin Clark isn't just dominating basketball, she's redefining how female athletes can move between worlds. What's most impressive isn't just that Caitlin's participating, it's how the LPGA has treated her. They didn't just invite her as a token guest, they built an entire moment around her presence, from the promotion, to the press, to fan experiences. The LPGA has turned her appearance into an event. Compare that to the WNBA, which somehow manages to treat their biggest superstar like an inconvenience. One league celebrates her as a partner, while the other behaves like she's a problem. The difference is staggering. In fact, last year's single LPGA event generated more excitement, more positive headlines, and more joy than most of Caitlin's entire WNBA season. So in this video, we're breaking down how golf's biggest names embraced Caitlin Clark, and how the WNBA once again fumbled the bag. When Caitlin arrived at Pelican Golf Club, it was immediately clear that the LPGA knew exactly what they had on their hands. A global phenomenon who draws ratings just by showing up. They didn't hide her in the schedule or treat her like a novelty act. They paired her directly with Nelly Korda, the number 1 golfer in the world. That's not coincidence, that's strategy. It was a masterclass in marketing, linking golf's most dominant athlete with basketball's most popular star. 2 worlds, 1 tee box. The buzz was instant. Even before Caitlin hit her first drive, the internet lit up. You could feel the anticipation ripple through social media like electricity. This wasn't a sideshow, it was a union of greatness. The LPGA didn't waste a single second. They knew what they had and made sure the entire world saw it. The Golf Channel literally changed its programming to air portions of Caitlin's round live, something they've never done before for a Pro-Am event. Her drives and putts hit the timeline within minutes, flooding Twitter, TikTok, and ESPN. Suddenly, golf, yes, golf, felt like appointment viewing again. But even just seeing the national media members that have arrived here, the basketball media that's here to cover Caitlin Clark and what's sure to be a really special day in the women's game tomorrow. Then Annika Sorenstam herself summed it up perfectly. What Caitlin brings isn't just talent, it's the ability to attract and inspire. That line went viral because it's true. Caitlin isn't just a basketball player, she's a cultural bridge. She connects fans across sports, across generations, across interests. Wherever she goes, new audiences follow. And this year's event, coming up in November, will be even bigger. Fully televised worldwide, with expanded access for fans both on-site and online. The LPGA is all in, and it's paying off. And here's what makes it so genuine. Caitlin didn't show up pretending to be someone she's not. She's played golf since she was a kid, and she genuinely loves it. This wasn't a PR move or a photo op. It was something real. After sinking a long putt, she smiled and said, "I'm not a professional golfer, but I love being out here. It's all about the challenge and the mental focus." And that's exactly why people love her. She's competitive, but she's relatable. She's confident, but never arrogant. In a sports world full of scripted sound bites and corporate polish, Caitlin just shows up, plays, laughs, and reminds people what authenticity looks like. The result? Pelican tickets sold out. Fans lined the ropes hours early just to catch a glimpse. Even professional golfers were asking for selfies. The LPGA didn't just host an event, they created a movement. They proved something the WNBA still refuses to learn. When you embrace Caitlin Clark, everybody wins. And that's where the contrast becomes undeniable. The LPGA saw opportunity and took it. They leaned into Caitlin's crossover appeal, turning her participation into a celebration of women's sports unity. Meanwhile, the WNBA, her own league, still acts like her success is some kind of threat. It's almost comical at this point. Higher television ratings, higher attendance figures. Ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't come courtesy of a league. It comes courtesy of the players that play in the league. And in her case, she was the most popular, which means she could have helped your bottom line. Which means you should have seen that from day one and maximized it. But you didn't do it. Think about it. Caitlyn's first 2 seasons were nothing short of legendary. 62 records shattered. A franchise revived. Sold out crowds in every city. Even a top 5 MVP finish as a rookie. Her second season, though shortened by injury, was shaping up to be another historic run. That's once-in-a-generation dominance. Any other league would have built an entire marketing campaign around her. The WNBA gave her a ceremony that looked like a high school pep rally. Remember her Rookie of the Year presentation? No fans, no TV broadcast, no energy, just a quiet gym and a plaque. It was embarrassing, especially when you compare it to Paige Bucher's award presentation earlier this year. Live TV, sponsors, fans, and actual excitement. The WNBA had a golden chance to make Caitlin Clark's moment special, and they blew it. Meanwhile, the LPGA took the opposite approach. They didn't just invite her, they featured her. They built narratives around her pairing with Korda, spotlighted her in leadership forms alongside Annika Sorenstam, and positioned her as an equal, not an outsider. Every detail was intentional. Every move said the same thing. This is how you honor a generational talent. The LPGA understood something simple that too many others missed. Caitlin Clark isn't competition. She's collaboration. She makes every room she's in bigger. She lifts up the people around her. She drives sponsorships, ratings, and relevance. Not just for herself, but for everyone. And instead of being afraid of that, the LPGA leaned into it. While the WNBA continues to get tangled in jealousy and identity crises, the LPGA is out here expanding the definition of women's sports. They saw Caitlyn's power, embraced it, and amplified it. And the results speak for themselves. Golf viewership spiked. Merchandise moved. New demographics, especially younger basketball fans, started watching golf for the first time. Caitlyn didn't need to pick sides. She just needed to show up. And in doing so, she unintentionally exposed how 2 leagues treat their stars. One celebrates them, the other suppresses them. Well, first of all, we're thankful that she's here. I think she's been kind of the one, and when you talk about women's sports, she's kind of, other than Nelly, it's been Caitlyn, and what she's done is amazing, and like you said, bringing other people into the sport, and golf has been having quite a passion for her for quite some time. Fans noticed. They always do. One viral comment nailed it perfectly. The way every league embraces her except the WNBA is diabolical. That single line echoed what millions were thinking. The LPGA rolled out the red carpet, while the WNBA tripped over its own shoelaces. It's almost poetic. One league lifted her up and won new fans. The others spent months trying to keep her down, and lost them. Sports fans and analysts are all saying the same thing. The LPGA just did what the WNBA couldn't. They embraced Caitlin Clark's star power instead of pretending it was a problem. What golf managed to pull off wasn't some secret marketing trick. It was basic logic. Take your biggest crossover name, celebrate her, and let the world watch. Meanwhile, Kathy Engelbert and the WNBA are still obsessed with balancing narratives, spinning corporate language about league-wide growth, instead of acknowledging the reality staring them in the face. Engelbert's now famous talking points, the kind that sound like they were written by a PR intern, never actually say anything. She loves phrases like big picture and collective progress, but never mentions the person actually driving that progress. While Caitlin Clark was filling arenas, setting records, and drawing millions of new fans, Engelbert was busy reminding everyone that every team and player contributed. On paper, that sounds like good leadership. In practice, it's delusion. Fans didn't tune in for a vague sense of collective growth. They tuned in for Caitlin Clark. The Caitlin Clark effect is the reason the league had its biggest season ever. The LPGA recognized that truth. The WNBA still refuses to. Everybody talk about other in the WNBA players not being appreciated. Nobody insulted them. Nobody dismissed their contribution. We were simply saying despite the contributions for years and years and years, a lot of people didn't care. Fair enough. Until Caitlin Clark came along. By fully embracing Caitlin, The LPGA showed everyone how you build a sport around a generational star without diminishing anyone else. They understood something the WNBA doesn't. Clark's impact doesn't end with basketball, it transcends sports altogether. Her presence doesn't take away from others, it amplifies them. When she steps into a new arena, the spotlight follows, and everyone standing near it benefits. The LPGA saw that clearly they didn't see a threat, they saw an opportunity. And by giving Caitlin the platform she deserves, they not only elevated golf. Tournament host Annika Sorenstam, the legend whose name defines the event, made it clear how much Clark's presence meant. "We're thankful she's here," she said. "She's been the one, other than Nelly, to bring so much attention to women's sports." That's high praise coming from a global icon, and she meant every word. Sorenstam admired Caitlin's composure under pressure, calling her inspiring, someone who handles the spotlight with such grace while continuing to push boundaries. Then there's Nelly Korda, the world's top-ranked golfer and Caitlin's playing partner for the day. "It's refreshing to have someone from another sport who brings that same fire," Korda said. "Her energy is contagious." It wasn't polite flattery, it was genuine respect from one elite athlete to another. You could see it in how they interacted. They weren't two stars from different worlds. They were teammates for a day, united by competitive excellence. Even veteran golfers couldn't help but join the excitement. Brittany Lincecum, a two-time major champion, said, "What she's done for women's basketball is phenomenal, and seeing her here supporting us is incredible." She even brought a basketball for Caitlin to autograph for her daughters. Think about that. A pro golfer asking a basketball player for a signature because her kids adore her. That's what true crossover appeal looks like. Andrea Lee and Megan Kong joked on camera that they were strategically planning their practice rounds in hopes of bumping into Caitlin for a selfie. Marina Alex and Lilia Vu gushed about how her appearance would boost ticket sales and media coverage, and the young stars, Rose Zhang and Alexa Pano, spoke from a place of awe. "Her composure is unreal," Zhang said. "The way she handles pressure is something I really admire." I ran into Andrea Lee on the putting green and she said, "My tee time is at 7:10 a.m. so I'm hoping that overlaps well enough that I'll be able to get a picture." And then on the other side of that, Megan Kang said, "Oh man, my tee time is in the afternoon. There's no shot that I'm going to be able to catch her in time for a photo." And now Marina Alex was especially excited because her locker is next to Caitlin's in the locker room. Said she walked in and saw there she was. She got a placard just like all the LPGA players right next to her. So perhaps Marina can pick her brain as they're getting ready to head out to the golf course. And of course he had to chat with Lilia Vu, who's the defending champion. The first thing she said to me was, "Oh my goodness, so excited that Caitlin's here. She's going to bring so many eyeballs to this week and to our game in general." It wasn't just praise, it was validation. Caitlin Clark isn't just inspiring young basketball players anymore. She's motivating athletes in completely different sports. That's how you know her influence has gone beyond the court. And the LPGA leaned into that perfectly. They didn't just give her a tee time. They gave her a community. They treated her like part of the family, not a visiting celebrity. Her presence didn't overshadow anyone. It lifted everyone. When Clark spoke about the power of sports to unite people, you could tell it wasn't a soundbite. It was her belief system. "Sports bring joy," she said. "They connect people in ways nothing else can." That line stuck with everyone in the room. For Caitlin, it's never been basketball versus golf, or WNBA versus LPGA. It's all one mission, to grow women's sports and open doors for the next generation. That's the reason that you play. It's not because of the wins and the points you score. It's the amount of joy that you can bring people and the young girls that will one day grow up to hopefully, be whatever they want to be and get to talk about those moments too. Even when the camera stopped rolling, Caitlin never turned off the authenticity. She wasn't there to pose for photos or check a PR box. She was there to be present, talking to fans, laughing with players, signing autographs for kids. Everything about her day felt genuine. There's no off switch to her charisma. Whether she's on the court or the course, she connects because she cares. That's what makes Caitlin Clark irreplaceable. Her energy isn't manufactured. It's mission-driven. "The young girls who come to our games, they're why I do this," she said quietly to a reporter after the event. "They're my biggest motivation." That's not a brand talking. That's a person with purpose. I haven't played with anybody on any other team, but some of my teammates golf. Actually, one of my teammates was a state champion golfer, so she's pretty good. I actually haven't played with her yet, so I think she might be scared or something. I don't know why. Her game must have gotten rusty when she became a professional basketball player, but now, some of them do play, but we like to go out there and have fun. Obviously, it's hard during the WNBA season because it's in the summer, so that's the one tough thing about the W is it's in the summer, so I don't get to go out and play as much as I did in college, but it's been fun. Obviously, we're really competitive with whatever we do, so there's some intense battles out there. Her return to the Annika wasn't just another publicity moment. It was a statement. The LPGA showed the world what can happen when you embrace a superstar instead of fearing her. They gave her space to shine, and in return, she brought them an audience they never had before. That's partnership. That's vision. That's leadership. Meanwhile, back in the WNBA, the silence is deafening. While the LPGA turned Caitlin Clark into a unifying force, the WNBA turned her into a controversy. The league that should be celebrating her is still busy debating how to manage her popularity. They're obsessed with fairness instead of forward momentum. It's the kind of thinking that kills growth before it even begins. The truth is simple. The LPGA understands how fans work. People don't fall in love with institutions. They fall in love with people. Caitlin Clark is one of those rare people who makes everyone else want to tune in. She doesn't shrink the room, she expands it. And the LPGA was smart enough to step into that light. They didn't make it about control or credit. They made it about collaboration. And it worked. Caitlin Clark's presence at the Annika wasn't just good PR. It was a blueprint for how to grow women's sports the right way. By celebrating her, the LPGA grew the game. By embracing her, they expanded their audience. By trusting her, they earned credibility.